Hi there. Thank you for tuning in to Grow Your Gifts. Today's topic is everything is serious, but don't take yourself so seriously. And there's lots of directions we can go with this, but today I want to focus on celebrating good parents. I'm not, people who know me know I don't really like to label things as good or bad, one dimensional, black and white. There's so many factors and things like that. But let's just say celebrating good parents as, we're on the same page. We know the difference between what a bad parent is and what a good parent is generally. And for bad parents, they usually have suffered and endured terrible abuse. And it's usually a cycle of abuse, not to justify their actions as adults, as parents, putting that on, young children, but most of the time it's deeply unconscious, and let's face it, by then they've just been taken over. So that's not to say it's the end, and my guess is they're not tuning into these videos because you're just overwhelmed when you're in that state, and it's all part of the journey, all part of the process. If you had bad parents, there's always help available. It's not the end of the world. You're alive, you're breathing, and just take everything in baby steps. I didn't have bad parents, so I can't say I know what it's like, but I did have my own time in the darkness, in the shadow realm, whatever you want to call it, and it lasted a very long time from a very young age, and it was not fun, and it was almost feeling like I would never get out of it. So I do understand, even though I can't understand completely. So that's not what we're going to talk about today, bad parents. Just want to focus on celebrating good parents, because in my experience there is a ton out there. It's not about being perfect, and it's always about doing your best. When you don't have enough sleep, or you're exhausted, or you have a million things coming at you, and you're a parent, and you're still doing your best, that is huge. That is monumental. My heart goes out to you. Keep it up. You're doing amazing. So, warning, this video may make you cry. No, it's just very heartwarming, and it's very nice to take those observations and kind of summarize it. With over 20 years of experience working with children and working with parents and working with families. And just another key that I feel like is important, in Star Wars, they're like, there is no try, only do, or butchering that, but I don't agree with that. When I watch children, when I watch animals, when I observe nature, everything is trying. It's like that Chumbawamba song. I get knocked down, but I get up again. And you can clearly see that with young children. It's just try, and keep trying it this way and that way, and experiment, and don't give up. And that's what sleep is for, resting. And watching a nice movie or some show you really enjoy, or going for a walk in the woods, whatever you like. So there's ways to give yourself that rest you need from all the trying and doing. Everything is doing, yeah, but okay, let's not go there. So that's just my observation, is that celebrating good parents who are doing their best, who are trying day in, day out. I mean, showing up is most of it. So if you are showing up, that's awesome. That's amazing. And I applaud you. Yay! Yeah. So I'll give a few examples, even just from my parents. I won't go into too much detail, but just generally, in my early years, there were key moments, and I feel like that really helped shape my style as an early childhood educator as well. Because it's something I experienced at a very young age, and it really helped me. Like with my papa, for example, he took so much patience with certain things. I was very blessed that I had those experiences over and over again, here and there, where he had the time and energy. I mean, he was working a lot. He had a lot on his plate. My mom was not well. There's a lot going on. So, I had a bad math report and I did not know 7 times 7. And he sat me down very calmly, very patiently. Here's a paper, here's a pen, and we're going to do what we did in India, and we're going to write it down over and over and over. And I will never forget. I think even, in my next lifetime, I will always know 7 times 7 equals 49. So, I just wrote it over and over again. And that was so helpful because my math teacher was not nice. So it helped me have at least some sort of positive relationship with numbers. And that meant a lot to me. And even for some reason, probably because of my mean math teacher, I mean, let's not blame her completely, but for some reason, I'm not good with numbers. So my sisters tried to teach me about money and like how many cents are in a dollar. I was not getting it. And things like the clock, but my dad saw that I was not getting it. It's like, it's very simple, very basic, so let me show her. So he literally gathered coins, and gave me that physical representation that I needed as a young child. My friends couldn't even get through to me. I don't know why. So that really helped me. And then he would quiz me every now and then and be like, okay, this is a nickel. How many cents? Here's a quarter. How many cents do you think? It really tripped me out for some reason. I don't know why, but I get it now. And that was really helpful, getting that, being shown with patience for something that was clearly frustrating for me, but easy for most other children. Also, like tying a shoelace. Because it was on the shoe, it was so frustrating for me. My fingers weren't working, like they weren't cooperating with me. So he showed me on jogging pants, so it was away from me. I mean, this is stuff we do in like Montessori, we have lacing boards and things like that. And he was doing that just intuitively. He's like, okay, the shoe's not working for her, so let's get her to practice how to tie a shoelace on this thing over here that has a long string, and she could practice and practice. That was cool. Or like, what's under the hood of a car. Very, took his time, very patiently, very calmly, explaining each thing. I had questions, all that stuff. It was like, wow, I can, change my own oil and do other things. I feel confident when it comes to taking care of my car, or if I'm watching a video, I understand a little bit about what's going on about the car. And that's thanks to him. So that was awesome. Of course, parents are human. I always had that saying, especially with my coworkers, you get frustrated sometimes. You're like trying to get this message across to the parent, and they'd be like, they don't get it. They're just not giving them boundaries or whatever. And I say, parents are people too. You don't know what's going on in their life sometimes. You just don't know. So that is their business, and it's our job as professionals to just keep patiently communicating clearly that when your child does this, it leads to this, this, and this. This is the benefits. These are the negative effects, and so on. So parents are people too. It's a good reminder, And so with parents are people too, like my dad had his limits when it came to teaching me how to drive. Okay, I guess his inner Papa Bear came out, and he was not. He didn't like it. So my eldest sister had to teach me, which was good actually, because she was amazing at it. So I had other driver teachers as well, a few of them. Some I didn't get along with, so I had another one. So because for me, it's very important. I will not learn if I'm being yelled at. It just doesn't happen. I shut down, especially back then as a teenager. and I love driving. So, second I turned 16, I had my learner's permit and everything. I was ready to go. So with my mom, it was different kind of patience. Growing up in England, from 0 to 5 years old, she did basically everything with us, little ones. And I was, I don't remember much, but I hear that I was a cheeky monkey, kind of a Tasmanian devil, and I did not listen a lot of the time. So I don't know the details or anything, but this is just from stories I heard and everything. So from how she dealt with it, maybe because I was the baby of the family by then, I don't know, but always like very calm. I don't remember ever getting like aggressive at me in any way, like just teaching me such a different kind of a patience and approach. But even as I got older, and she got better and better, and then I was in college doing my early childhood education courses, I was like, oh my goodness, my mom has been using all these techniques. Like, how does she know how to be an ECE? She's a natural ECE. Like, wow. I mean, her biggest one is the power of redirection. And within 5 minutes, especially back then in my early 20s, I was like, I don't even know what I was upset about anymore. I have no clue, because she just redirect my attention to here, 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 here. I mean, that's what teachers do. That's what, some people do with their pets and things like that. And it works. So many things my mom did that they taught me in college in 2003 to 2005 about how to work with children, and she never took any courses. How does she know these things? I mean, she gives credit to her grandpa for a lot of it. So that's kind of awesome too, that ancestry line from both my mom and my dad's side. There are these amazing positive things that were taught to us, generation after generation, medicinally, home remedies, sense of the metaphysical, the astral world, like so many different things. Like, it's pretty amazing, to grow up with some sort of spiritual foundation. And yeah, we had a lot of dogma and stuff with religion, but again, they were doing their best, and that was clear to see. So they wanted to give us some sort of understanding about how the world works, which is pretty cool for a 6-year-old to get to and remember that, oh, okay, there's more than meets the eye. Very cool. So yay, parents! So yeah, showing up day after day and trying your best, that is everything. And picking your battles, that also goes, ties into not taking yourself so seriously. And with experience, when it's like, okay, no, I really need to put my foot down here, and other things, I just need to let it slide in the moment, because it's just not worth it right now. So really pick your battles. And I'm sure as parents you have tons of experience with that. And saying no and following through, that's a huge one. That really builds trust, it builds boundaries, it then teaches that child to say no to their peers who are being invasive in some way, or saying, hey, let's do this inappropriate thing, and follow through with it. This is how they're gonna take this with them and out there into the world that they interact with, as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, whatever, on the playground. Morals and ethics are always coming up, and it's so important to be like, okay, absolutely no, this is why, this is a consequence if you do, and have that strength and follow through on that. Be consistent, and with your team, whoever the adults are in that child's life. And if you don't agree with each other, have a discussion away from the children. But saying no and following through, keep it up, keep it going. Stand your ground. I mean, that is the superpower. When the mom and the dad are a united front in front of the child, that is a superpower. Okay? It's pretty awesome. And then when you're alone, you can be like, well, let's discuss this. This is how I really feel, all that stuff. And then come to an agreement. But in front of the child, it's like, no, we're a united front. There is no wiggle room in this area with this point. Absolutely no. So, yeah, it's a big one. And the other piece of that, what I've observed and celebrating good parents, is they ask themselves, maybe there's a kinder way. And they take the time to think to themselves, I'm in a rush. I have a million things to do. This child won't stop asking me a million questions. But hey, let me take a second, breathe. Maybe there's a kinder way. Or even when you're like, okay, I know when we go to the grocery store, this, and this happens, and there's always a meltdown and blah, blah, blah. So let me pre-plan, let me think about it. Okay, I'll grab a coloring book, some crayons, 2 or 3 of their favorite fidgety toys, or something for their mouth to keep their mouth busy, like a healthy snack, or something to sip on. So you go to the grocery store prepared and you're like, all right, smooth sailing. I hope. So sometimes, yeah, there is some pre-planning involved and everything, but to take the time as a parent to say, okay, I could just lay down the law, or I could take the time and find a gentler, more compassionate, more softer, with patience, kinder way. And there is a strength in kindness as well. So I think it's all very valuable. There's something else I wanted to end this video with. Let me just take a quick look-see. Well, it's not coming to me, so flew out of my head, I guess. That's all right. If I remember, I'll note it down and bring it up in the next video. Because I think it was a good one, but that's the way it goes. So thank you for tuning in, signing off, and I wish you well.